This is former detention officer David Corvell. You should know who this man is because, per the reporting, what he represents is the abuse of power by the Department of Homeland Security. You see, David has recently pled guilty to charges stemming from his arrest. You may be asking, what exactly was he arrested for? What did he enter a guilty plea to? Let me tell you. From The Independent, Corvell, who is 56 years of age, entered a guilty plea in federal court. He was charged with a single count of sexual abuse of a ward or individual in federal custody. That carries a max prison sentence of 15 years and a fine of up to $250,000. The Shreveport Times reports this occurred at the Louisiana Detention Center where a Nicaraguan woman was held. He sexually abused her many times over the span of many months, per the reporting. Corvell was tasked with supervising, disciplining, and maintaining the custody of detainees, per KALB. This all took place between May and July. The abuse took place under his custodial and supervisory authority, per court docs, and occurred at one point in a janitor's closet. Another court document would read, this sexual contact occurred during their personal and romantic relationship and was not forced. From the Times, during this period, Corvell smuggled gifts like food, jewelry, letters, and pictures of the detainee's daughter into the detention center and gave them to the detainee. He also had, per the reports, other officers serve as lookouts so he could do all of this. This was, unfortunately, a theme that we discussed last week.
He was 42 years old, married, white guard. She's a 19-year-old asylum seeker with a 3-year-old.
In 2014, ED and her son awaited asylum at Berks, a family detention facility contracted by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, known as ICE.
Her life experience is one in Honduras of being brutally beaten and raped by her partner. But she was also in this Berks County facility that is purported to provide a safe space for these families while they go through the immigration process.
La primera vez que él abusó de mí sexualmente fue en agosto.
He had been giving them favors, giving her little boy toys and candy, and he had told her that, he could help her out and that he was friends with a deportation officer.
Él entró al baño y me quitó mi ropa y se quitó su ropa. Y yo no pude decirle que no, yo no pude hacer nada, yo simplemente hice lo que él quería.
So tell us, just how pervasive is the problem of sexual assault in ICE detention centers?
So it's fairly widespread, and we're basing this off of several sets of data. One, of course, is from ICE itself. That goes from 2013 to 2017. That was that 1,310 number we were talking about. Now, there's also data from another DHS, Department of Homeland Security oversight agency, the Inspector General, who also has recorded thousands and thousands of claims of abuse stretching back to 2010. But there are three problems with that data. The first is that we know that there is a huge incidence of underreporting when it comes to sexual abuse, and particularly in detention. These are people who don't speak the language. They're fearful. They might have been fleeing persecution or violence. They might be deported before they're able to report. Another problem with this data is that what we learned from former DHS employees and ICE officials was that the system itself was not functioning, in that the facilities were not properly reporting what was going on.
As we see the Department of Homeland Security run amok throughout the streets of the United States of America, as we see not one but two people killed in Minneapolis on behalf of the federal government, and mainly, if we're keeping it a buck, Stephen Miller and his entire playbook of using immigration as a pipeline to then pretty much have a war against your own people, because that is what he wants. In addition, that is what Donald Trump wants, and J.D. Vance wants, and Palantir wants, and many others. As we look at all this, the only position to take is not, we need better training, as Chuck Schumer would say, who is the leader of the Democrats in the Senate. Far from a leader. We have seen, they need to wear better body cameras, and it has to be illegal for them to take them off. That's falling short. Not only do they have body cams, now they're wearing meta glasses. So in a way, they have two body cams. Although the meta glasses are mainly to take pictures of protesters and likely put them in a database. These are not positions that are serious. These are positions to be centrist. These are also not positions that the opposition party should be taking. There is only one position to take after all of this. It is not more funding. It is not any of the things I stated. It is what one Democratic congressman, Sri Thalander, I believe his name is, from Michigan, is advocating for in a bill, which is the full abolition of ICE. That is where we should go. At some point, that has to be the moderate position in all of this. Do you like seeing an agency go full on rogue, cosplay as Call of Duty people? Well, I actually heard one agent say that on a camera recording. Do you like seeing any of this? Because this is always where it was going to lead. And I think that it is rather important to state that a lot of this training is done from many folks. They get their training in Israel. So we see the ways that so many innocent people have lost their lives in the Middle East. And we see the different tactics that are put forth by the IDF. And now that training has come home. And that agency is turning on its own people because, in my view, they are likely using insurrectionists, people that were pardoned, extremists, militia groups, and white supremacists. And they are completely untrained for the moment because they just started not too long ago. This is where it was going to lead. This is the imperial boomerang coming back. I don't like seeing this. You don't like seeing this. Nobody likes seeing this. So the only way forward is to say enough is enough and get rid of it completely. There are certainly many ways to deal with some form of immigration. We have seen how the Obama administration dealt with immigration. A lot of it bad, some of it okay. It can only get better if there were to be abolition and starting from scratch. I am deeply disappointed in the 70 plus Democrats who voted to express gratitude to ICE. I'm deeply disappointed in the 7 Democrats who voted to increase ICE's budget when they're already the 5th largest military in the world. These are things that are well within our control. And yes, elections do have consequences, but it is also about building a strong left flank to put in people in those seats that will not do things such as these. And for those 7 that voted to increase ICE's spending, along with the 70 plus that want to say thank you to ICE in a show of solidarity, it really needs to be stated. They don't care about you. They view you as the enemy. Some ICE agents have even said it on camera. So this spineless maneuvering and this approach with ICE from so many Democrats is appalling. And for many, their seats should be really hot right now. Because for as many, Tom Suozzi's and Marie Gluesenkamp Perez there will be some that are even further left that will take those seats and will go forward with abolition. This is always, as I stated previously, where it was going to get to, and I do believe that it is only going to get worse unless there is a stronger opposition party to what's going on.
Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTSports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.